Sylvia, that was an excellent feedback, I thought. It seems like you have training in this. Anyway, it was very well prioritized. So you went to matters that counted, as you said, and you explained why. And she was nodding, and so there was great communication between you. And I think she was finding it in her notes. One of the things we want to make sure we do is, as we give feedback, we want to make sure the person is not going, oh, wait a minute, where's that, where's that? So you just make sure they've found it, and they really know what you're talking about, and they can look at their notes and see what might have gone wrong. These little nuances are quite good. The difference between find and identify is, to us as a layperson, it sounds very, very, very similar. But if it's police or some in the room who are who are listening to the interpreter, there might be a huge difference between to find the girl and to identify. Although I must say it's very, very close. But that's the kind of precision we do need, because we don't know what might be full of meaning for them, and for us, it's not. Okay, thanks. I've also been in situations like that a couple of times. I think I made a video about it. Anyway, I was interpreting for a Brazilian bishop who was telling about how landless peasants were being bombed by the Brazilian army. And I started to have tears, and I just said to myself, I can't do this. I can't have tears. I have to keep going. And we will struggle with that. As I was saying in the opening, I worked at the International Criminal Court. I don't think I added this part. We did these terrible testimonies of child soldiers, etc. And they sent us they hired a person who was a specialist in secondary post-traumatic stress. In other words, the stress, post-traumatic stress, you can get just as a translator or interpreter from being exposed to these horrendous things. You can actually have symptoms because you are being exposed secondarily, right, as the person hearing the testimony of the person who has the first exposure. Anyway, so we do have to manage that, and that's what's very useful for you to bring that up. And this is the kind of thing where that will happen. We do have to manage that. Switching to the third person, that's right, it makes it less personal. As a little footnote, I would add that that's my little trick to get people to stop talking about things that are of absolutely no importance, like over dinner, and get moving on to something else. I might start going into the third person. I do want to make sure that it's clear that this person, our duty is to make people uncomfortable if that's what the speaker's purpose is, right? So she is, in my view, trying to poke us in a spot that's going to hurt a little bit. I mean, she knows we are not the culprit, but she's maybe pointing to us as a society. As a society, we're guilty, right? So anyway, I think she's trying to make us feel uncomfortable to some extent, right? So we do want to get that part. So I just wanted to cover that a little bit, because you mentioned the thanks for not making me feel. We do want, and I got your point now, but we do want to make the listener feel anything that the original source language people would feel, right? Whether it's funny or horrible.